I keep discovering new things in iOS 27, so here are the 10 most hidden features. Like, did you know Siri AI can recognize AI-generated images? New features in Apple Maps to plan your route. A toggle you should turn on immediately. Shared photo albums has a complete overhaul. Great features when you're on the phone, and a ton more. But let's go to our first feature, which is in Messages. Let's say you're at a restaurant and it's time to split the bill. Maybe someone already paid. Well, if you go to the Apple Cache here in Messages, in iOS 27, you'll see the new Split Bill option. When you tap that, you might see this information card the first time, which is scanning a picture of the receipt, and it will split the amount for you. So point your iPhone at the receipt, take a picture, and then you'll have the option to either pay your share or request the money from someone else. You can even confirm what items someone else needs to pay for. You can choose to split everything evenly, and that will request half from the person. This also works in a group chat. So let's say you and all your friends are in the same group chat. I can go to Apple Cache. You'll see the split bill option again. Take the picture, and now when you go to pay your share, now you can actually choose what items are yours. So let's say that's your item, maybe the lemonade as well. Then you can choose to pay just that amount to whoever in the group. And when you tap pay, you'll then choose the person to send the money. And if you go to add a tip right here, it already has the tip amounts calculated, so you can choose one and it will split that amount as well. You can also do the split bill feature by triggering visual intelligence by holding camera control, taking a picture here, and then you're brought to the Apple Cash screen, like from the wallet, and you can request the money, but then you have to choose who you need the money from. I actually like doing it from Messages better, especially with the group chat feature. Next, your iPhone is going to be way smarter when you're on the phone. So let's say someone's calling you or you're calling them and it's their birthday today, you're actually gonna see this on screen during the call. If it's their actual birthday, you'll see all the fireworks and everything going around. And even if their birthday was in the last few days or in the next couple days, it will put that date right here on screen. But it gets even more powerful with hotel, airline reservations, and more. I was calling a hotel about a reservation, and this is what my iPhone screen looked like. Not only did it have my reservation confirmation number right here, but there's a button that you can have Siri read the confirmation out loud to the other person on the phone. So if you're driving and you don't want to keep looking down at a long confirmation number, you can just tap this button here and Siri will read your confirmation number aloud for both of you on the phone call. This is going to work with airline confirmations, hotels, and a ton more. Now going back to photos, shared photo albums has massive upgrades in iOS 27. If you go down to even some of your previous albums, once you update to iOS 27, there'll be an option to upgrade the shared album. When you tap that button, you'll see this screen. Upgraded shared albums now include full resolution photos that you can share with others. There's new emoji reactions, and you can even share invitations to non-Apple users. You'll also see this warning that when you upgrade a shared photo album, any devices that are on older versions of iOS won't have access to all the features or maybe even the album. You also have to wait a few minutes for the shared album to upgrade with the new features. But once the shared album is upgraded, which I've done with this one, if you go into a photo, you'll see there's new reactions. So not just a thumbs up, you can actually react with lots of different emojis to a picture, and anyone in the chat can do it. You can download full resolution versions of each photo. On the main album screen, you'll also see the option under the 3 dots to save all photos that you haven't already saved to your device. You can actually make the album temporary, so it'll be a shared album, but after 30 days, the album will actually expire, and any not saved photos or videos will be removed, and other people won't have access to them. And for sharing options, you can choose anyone with the link can join this, including Windows and Android users. That means Windows and Android users can then access shared photo albums in iCloud. I'm going to copy the album link right here. And let's say I emailed that to a friend using an Android phone. Well, even from an Android phone, you can tap that link, access all the photos in the album. You can download the unmodified originals, so the full high quality photos. You see the highest resolution there. And someone with an Android phone or from Windows can actually interact with the photos without even creating an iCloud account. So let's say I go to a photo here on my Android phone. I want to leave an emoji on this particular image. Well, I can put my email, I'll get an access code, and that's it. I actually don't need to create an iCloud account if I have an Android or Windows device to still be able to participate in the photo album. I can still download the images just like I would from an iPhone. Shared photo albums are a huge upgrade. Now, right after I'm done filming this video, I need to go eat something. I'm not great at meal prepping, and I don't want to eat cottage cheese straight again. Well, that's where today's sponsor comes in, CookUnity. CookUnity is a chef-to-you meal delivery platform that connects you with hundreds of fresh, fully prepped meals from award-winning chefs. With CookUnity, you can choose from over 400 meals nationwide every week. And when you're choosing those meals, I love that I can choose what region I'm in, so I'm in Florida, and then you can choose low-carb, gluten-free, get high-protein meals, and it all tastes great. I think I'm gonna get that Chipotle barbecue chicken quesadilla next time. All meals are handcrafted in small batches in local kitchens recommends by you. And there are over 130 chefs on the platform, including Food Network stars, James Beard Award winners, and Michelin-starred masters. Now, in the past year, I've been on a weight loss journey, and I'm trying to eat more high-protein and low-carb meals, but again, the variety is hard when I'm not really a chef. I absolutely love the Chicken Barbacoa Bowl by Chef Andres Mendez, and most meals are ready in 2 minutes or less. I also love the Yakitori Grilled Chicken by Chef Sergio Taminaga. I love getting that variety of meals, and the Jerk Chicken Penne Pasta by Chef Cindy Hudson was awesome. When you're ready to order your meals, you pick your preferences. I use Food Noms to track calories, and you can choose less than 600 calorie meals and then fill your week's meals with those. Meals arrive fresh, never frozen, in eco-friendly packaging. Follow the simple chef prep instructions, and you can plan several weeks ahead to save time. So scan this QR code or click that link below and use promo code StephenRobles50 to get 50% off your first order of meals. So scan here, check that link in the description, and get 50% off your first box of chef-made meals, all delivered fresh to your door. My thanks to Cook Unity for sponsoring this video. The next feature is in the Find My app, which allows you to hide your location temporarily. To do this, you're actually going to be on the People tab. I'll go to my son here, and now if I tap the 3 dots next to his person card, don't worry, this is not our home address or anywhere we frequent, you'll now have the option to hide location. If you've added a friend or family to the Find My app, your location is typically shared and you would have to unfriend or stop sharing your location permanently in order to hide your location. But now you can choose hide, and it's going to hide until tomorrow at 4 a.m. Every time I've tried this, it's been 4 a.m. I don't know why, that's some arbitrary time. You can't choose how long to hide your location, but it will hide you for today. And of course, you could just tap to unhide it as well. And you still have access to the notify me or notify the other person when someone arrives or leaves a location. So that hide location is new, where before you had to just stop sharing my location permanently. And when you would stop sharing your location before, the other person would get a notification. Hiding your location in iOS 27 will not notify the other person, either when it's hidden or when you've stopped hiding. And speaking of location, Apple Maps has gotten a number of upgrades. But let's actually search for a location, something like Apple Park. Previously, Apple Maps would immediately offer to get directions to that location, and that's changed now to this plan option. Now when I tap plan, it's going to assume you don't want directions because this place is very far away. So you have the option to choose your origin. You can still select your current location by tapping that arrow, but I can also do something like search for SFO, the airport, and now I can start planning a trip just in the location I will be at, my destination. I can add a stop, and there's now a little microphone there if you want to search for something. And also, when you're in Maps and you're around a specific business like Apple Park, and we can search for something like these suggestions up here. Let's go with restaurants. You have the filters here where you can see accepts Apple Pay if it's in an Apple guide or if it's one of the top rated restaurants in the area. You can also see some of those categories right up here, like Michelin distinctions. And you also get cool little details like Holder's Country Inn, if you ever were there before or got directions to it. Not only will you see that it's Apple's local lists pick, but it was actually visited. Well, I've been there. And if you tap that local lists pick, it'll bring you to an Apple Maps guide and popular restaurants in the area. I can also filter by whether or not these places are in guides in the area, and I can see not only is this in the Apple local list pick, but I can see other guides that it appears in, like the Infatuations guide for the area. All right, this next feature is a toggle in settings that you should turn on pretty much immediately. If you go to the Settings app and then go to Wi-Fi, there's now a Connectivity Assist option. Now this is different from the Cellular Assist, where if you have weak Wi-Fi signal, your iPhone will use cellular data to bolster that. Connectivity Assist is going to help in those times when you might be leaving home or exiting a place where there's a Wi-Fi network. It will use both, whatever is stronger, the cellular data or Wi-Fi in that moment, to keep your connectivity going. If you were ever on something like a FaceTime call, you get in the car and start driving away from home and things start breaking up because your phone is still hanging onto the Wi-Fi, toggle this on and you should have a better experience transitioning from Wi-Fi to cellular data and back again. And if you tap the eye icon next to your Wi-Fi network name, scroll down, you'll see the different toggle for use cellular data with Wi-Fi. And if you're concerned about how much cellular data might be using with these toggles on, you'll see how much data usage is right here under the Connectivity Assist, to make sure you don't go over any limits. Next is a great upgrade to the Remind Me feature in Apple Mail. Previously, if you wanted to be reminded of a message sometime in the future, the email would stay in your inbox and wouldn't leave, which is very different to the typical snooze function you find in other mail apps. But now, if you go to Settings and then search for Mail, or you can go down to Apps and then Mail, scroll down in the Mail settings, and when you see the Remind Me Messages option, tap that, and you can choose to keep those messages in your inbox or move it out of the inbox to the Remind Me folder. So if I'm in Mail, and let's say I want to be reminded of this email and not see it anymore, with that toggle on, I could say, Remind me tonight, and the email is going to disappear from my inbox. That's how I like this function to work. If I ever need to go back and see it, I can go to my full inbox list, and you'll see in the Remind Me inbox, that the email is right there, and it will pop back into my inbox tonight. If you want to dictate the exact time it comes back, you can choose Remind Me Later, and you can choose an exact date and time, but unfortunately you can't change the stock times for things like tonight and tomorrow. Tomorrow I think is going to be 8 a.m., tonight is 6 p.m., and there's no settings to change those times specifically. Next, if you use Apple Card, there's a way better view for upcoming recurring charges. When you're viewing your Apple Card here in Apple Wallet, you tap the three dots and then go to Recurring, and you'll now see this calendar view. And this calendar is placing all of your recurring charges on the typical date you get charged for them. This will show you your upcoming charges, like here's Circle, Pod Status, services that I'll be charged on that day. And I can even swipe to the next month and see how much I'll be charged on every day of the month for different recurring charges. And this is going to help a lot if I want to cancel a recurring charge, go to that vendor and stop it. But I love this view of upcoming charges to help manage all that recurring stuff. Next, Apple Passwords now has Agentic password changing. So if you go to the security area of Apple Passwords, you'll see the automatically fix this number of passwords. Now, I'm just going to tap Get Started, and Apple Passwords should sign in, change the password, and save the new one, and I'll get a notification every time a password is fixed. I'm just going to tap Continue. It's telling me it can actually fix all of these passwords for me. I can tap the three dots, show the details. You can tap the three dots next to every login and say, actually, don't fix this one, or show the details for that login. And let's just do it. I'm a little nervous, actually. I'm not sure how well this is going to work, but let's fix them all. And there it goes. It's going to fix my passwords. We'll see if we get any notifications before we're done filming this video that things are actually fixing. Oh, look, and I get a live activity of it doing it all in the background. And last thing, I keep discovering new features that Siri AI can do. And I was curious, can I just ask Siri to see if it will recognize AI-generated content? I keep seeing Amazon listings like this where it's clearly AI-generated imagery. I try to tell my kids and parents, like, let's not buy this because I don't know if this product actually exists. Well, you can now ask Siri AI whether or not this is AI-generated. So let's try it. Does this look AI-generated?
Yes, this image appears to be AI-generated. There are several visual inconsistencies typical of generative AI, such as the blurred and nonsensical machinery in the background, the unnatural blending of the person's fingers with the toy, and the lack of fine, realistic details in the stuffed animal's fur and faces.
I've tried this on several pieces of content, and it works like 60 to 70% of the time, but just being able to tell your parents or someone else, hey, if you're not sure if something's AI generated, just ask Siri, that's a huge win. And let's check back in on our password progress. Supposedly it's fixed 4 of 68, so I'll report back, which is a good reason to subscribe and hit that like button. I'm going to be covering even more iOS 27 features with massive videos once the public release comes out this fall. And if you want to see more of what Siri AI can do, especially compared to Gemini on an Android phone, I did an entire video on that. I'll link it right up here. And Shortcuts got some amazing upgrades in iOS 27, and I've already built about 20 shortcuts using iOS 27 actions. You can watch that video here or join my Shortcuts community. I do live streams every week just for members. My entire Shortcuts database is available to search and download all my past shortcuts. Or just join over 5,000 people that are in the community for free, asking for help, sharing shortcuts they've built, and more. You can go to shortcut.bot and join the community for free, and that link is down in the description. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.